to another edition of Mexico in the World, where we will talk about important events and dates and celebrations in Mexico and the world. On this occasion, as usual, we have several celebrations, several events and several world days. For example, the first day of zero discrimination and the International Day of Civil Protection were commemorated. This is very important worldwide and in Mexico, because discrimination is still suffered both in the world and in Mexico. There is still a bit of work to be done on this aspect. But we hope that as time goes by and thanks to the changes that are taking place in society and in the laws, this will improve a bit, and in terms of civil protection, well, as you know, worldwide it is very important, and also in Mexico. Why is the issue of civil protection so important? To begin with, for example, Mexico City, because of the geological issue and that there are many tremors constantly, and also in the matter that we have several active volcanoes. For example, near Mexico City, the Popocatépetl volcano. Because it is very important to have this culture of civil protection and to be able to know what to do in case there is an event that involves civil protection, so that one can be safe and people's lives are not at risk, and precisely to commemorate this. For example, on March 1st, a drill on tsunami prevention issues, so that people also get used to foreseeing in this sense, so that there is no problem as to whether we have a tsunami and that people are unprepared. That is the objective. Now the day is also commemorated Wildlife World. This obviously in terms of ecological issues is very important worldwide. In Mexico obviously also works on this in this regard. There are many programs that try to do work on issues of conservation of both fauna and flora. Now the third was also commemorated the day of birth and hearing defects. How do you know this is very important worldwide? Because in all countries, unfortunately, it happens that babies are born with birth defects. Hopefully advances in medicine can help or at least prevent this. Now the 4th of March is the Day of Engineering for Sustainable Development. That is very important both worldwide and in Mexico, because with globalization and all this, all countries are obliged to do our bit in this regard, and that let's support to conserve the environment, support what is ecology, and we can combat climate change at a global level. Each country must contribute, as I said, its grain of sand, including Mexico, and Mexico tries to do it, but we hope that progress is made even more in these issues of what sustainable development is. We are leaving the most important thing for last, but the fact that it is at the end does not mean that it is less important, on the contrary. This week the most important thing is March 8th, what is commemorated on Women's Day. Why is it so important worldwide, as specifically in Mexico? Because there are more women than men. Important in the sense that the commemoration of this day is to try to ensure that there is more equality between men and women, more labor equality, more equality in salary. They must stop put women aside, so let's hope that as always this commemoration reminds us of this. Now there is also a negative aspect that unfortunately, since this commemoration deals with what it tries to help women to empower them, to make them stronger, so that there is greater equality and greater balance comes from this native part. What is it that these acts of vandalism occur in these demonstrations by these few people who unfortunately, although they are very few, these events are overshadowed, and especially in Mexico this happens because many times this happens that demonstrations are taking place peacefully to raise awareness and commemorate these days, and these few people who, although they are few, have these, unfortunately these are bad intentions, and well, you see this side negative. Let's hope that this does not happen and that the negative side does not win. We are more good, so let's leave it for the moment with this reflection. Let's not forget that both men and women are all good, and we can all fight for our world so that it is each one's a better world. Thank you for listening to us in this one more edition of Mexico and the World. Before saying goodbye, we remind you of our social networks so that you can contact us by mail at podcastmexicoandtheworld@gmail.com, on on Twitter and at Mexico the World on Facebook, podcast Mexico in the World on Mexico in the World YouTube channel. Thank you for listening to us, and we look forward to seeing you in our next edition. Bye.